This episode is sponsored by Jacobson Real Estate Company. Are you ready to find your dream home? Or maybe you're thinking about selling and want the best deal possible? Well, look no further. At Jacobson Real Estate Company, we make buying or selling your home smooth, stress-free, and exciting. With 50 plus years of experience and a deep knowledge of the Winona, Minnesota area market, we specialize in turning your real estate goals into reality. Whether it's finding that perfect neighborhood, negotiating top dollar for your property, or answering all of your questions along the way, we're here for you. Plus, with our personalized approach, you're not just a client, you're family. So why wait? Let Jacobson Real Estate Company open the door to your future. Call us today at 507-313-2716 or visit our website at jacobsonrealestatecompany.com. Because your next chapter starts here. Buy, sell, invest. Jacobson Real Estate Company. Welcome to this week's edition of Brews Cruise. I am your host, Chris Jacobson, and in this week's episode, we're diving into how this business got its start, how it's grown from a simple soap back in 2018 into a full line of home and skincare products, and how they balance family and business along the way. It's a real look at growth, hustle, and building something together as a family. So welcome on in. You guys are coming all the way from Sparta. If you just want to introduce each one of yourselves of who you are and where, and maybe just a little background of where you came from.
All right.
Sure.
I am Missy. I am married to Aaron, and we have this skincare and home product business, but I actually have a teaching degree originally, but I'm really just a mom. That's what I am.
And I have my teaching degree as well.
Awesome.
And then Aaron?
Yeah, my name is Aaron. I also have a teaching degree.
Really?
So we have 3 teaching degrees right here amongst us.
This is going to be the smartest podcast ever.
And like me, you guys probably aren't using your teaching degree in the way that you thought you would at one point.
Not anymore.
So I also have a full-time job. I work for Matthews Archery in Sparta.
No kidding.
And I've been there for 23 years now.
Okay.
Which is quite a while.
So I got something about that. So you work for Matthews. Do you know the owner then, I
Yes.
assume? Okay, so my father-in-law helped him start that business in Austin, Minnesota, when it was called, oh my gosh, why is this slipping from my mind? But it was Matthews Bows. And I don't know if he still talks to him, but then he also makes guitars, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have a little connection here, which is interesting. I didn't even know that until just now. But his name is Larry Erickson. That's my father-in-law, and he knows. What's his full name?
Matt McPherson.
Matt McPherson, yeah. And wasn't it? I think it was just called McPherson Bows beforehand.
It was.
So that's really cool.
He was involved in McPherson Bows.
Yeah.
And then he broke away from that and started Matthews.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so my father-in-law was on the podcast, and he tells the whole story about how that got started and how he had a part to play in that as well. And then he did break off, that's right, and then talked about guitars. So anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's actually a cool little connection we have.
Yeah, what's funny is that I also general manage the guitar company.
Really?
As well, so.
Okay. Now, my father-in-law said those are like the top quality guitars.
Oh,
so
they're
if you can
amazing.
get one of those,
Yeah.
he goes, a little spendy, but if you can get one of those, boy, oh boy, that's like top of the line.
Yeah, a wood guitar starts around $10,500.
Whoa, like $10,500.
Yes,
Holy
yeah.
smokes. Okay.
But they are premium.
Are they?
It's the best guitar in the world.
That's really, I'm going to send this to him for an episode just so he can hear this beginning. But so you're the manager there.
Yes.
And then you had your teaching degree as well, and now you guys both are part of a company that I'm assuming you guys started together.
We did.
And that's
started together.
1924 Customary Soap?
Custom Soapery.
Custom Soapery, I'm sorry.
It's a
That's
mouthful.
okay. It is a mouthful.
Well, I was reading a little bit of the background, but I was wondering how you guys came up with that name.
So this is where I start. 1924 is when my grandpa was born.
Okay.
And so I had a special relationship with my grandpa. He was just a great guy. Born in 1924, the expectation was that you didn't have to go to high school.
Sure.
So he went through the 8th grade, and then he started farming. And he ended up, throughout his life, he built his own house, and he poured his own concrete, and he just learned everything without school.
Sure.
And so 1924 also harkens back to a time when every family had a soap maker in the family.
Really?
And so,
Okay.
More agrarian than they are today, they had animals. And so whenever they butchered an animal, they'd have fat. And so what do you do with the fat? You can cook with it, but you're not going to use that much fat in cooking. So what they would do is they would render it and use the tallow or the lard and make soap with lye. And so that's how I make soap.
Wow. Okay.
And in 1924, there was no single-use plastic. And so that's something that we also try to do is use as little plastic as possible just to be good to the earth.
Well, that's awesome. Good background. Let's dive into these kombuchas. That's what you guys had requested. I don't know much about kombucha. I've had it one time. So I want you to pick your poison of which one you want. I'll take the leftover.
I'll take the blood orange.
Blood orange it is. There you go.
Thank you.
And
I'll take this one.
that one right there.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I got guava goodness.
Cosmic Cranberry.
Yeah. I've never heard of this company, Synergy, but it sounded good.
It's a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I can't reach that far in, but cheers. Now, is there a reason that you guys like kombucha at all? I mean, I don't really know much of the background of kombucha much. I know that a lot of breweries, we used to carry it here at like Island City Brewing, but I never understood, there's benefits to it, right?
Yeah, it's good for your gut health because it's a fermented food.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it's just gut healthy.
Perfect. Well, my gut's feeling great then.
It's tangy. I mean, a lot of people don't like that, but I kind of like it.
I actually like the tanginess because it's like having a starburst. So let's dive into this then. We know the background of how the name came, but when did you guys decide to do this? 2018 or was it before that?
So Aaron has used handmade soap since he was like 14.
Okay.
So we would go to the food co-op and he would just like linger in the soap section. There was a store in Sparta called Made in Wisconsin, and there was different soap in there, and he would just smell them all and use he would buy like one bar and just savor it. And I wasn't really allowed to use it because I used the soap too fast. So he would just get like some soap and enjoy it. But every soap maker has a different recipe. So they all perform a little different. Like you can get a handmade soap that doesn't lather very well, or maybe that doesn't look very pretty. And Aaron just knew what he wanted. He was like, I want it to fit this way in my hand to look really cool, because you can make soap look really cool. He knew he wanted it to perform a certain way, to lather a certain way. And so he was kind of interested in making soap. He bought a book and let it sit in his nightstand for 4 years.
Wow.
And one day he was just like, I'm going to do this. And so he went to Goodwill and bought some pots and pans and kind of gathered all the supplies that he needed and made a loaf of soap. It took him a really long time because he had never done it before. He was all like goggled and gloved up, which you should do, but he's gotten a little lax over the years. And he posted a picture on Instagram just to be like, he doesn't even post very much. So it's kind of crazy they did that. And people just started to reach out and asked if they could buy soap from us.
Yeah, so I think I was in the kitchen, all gloved up, goggled up. It took me 2 hours to make the first loaf.
Okay.
Which, by comparison, that's a really, really long time compared to what I make today. And Missy was on the couch. She was watching, I think, The Bachelorette or something like that. And she turns around and she's like, "What is he doing back there?" And I was making a loaf of soap because I had always been interested in it.
Sure.
And so I bought the book in 2014, and it just sat in my nightstand for 4 years. In February of 2018, I just knew I had to go for it.
Sure.
And so I made a loaf of soap, and then I made another one, and another one, and another one. And before you knew it, we had all of our, what do you call it, cooling racks?
Cooling racks, yeah.
All of her cooling racks were consumed by soap.
And my pots and pans and my spatulas.
So it's called a loaf of soap.
A loaf, yes.
How long does it take you now to make one?
So I make 24 bars. I could make 24 bars in probably 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. And that was 10 small bars in 2 hours.
Okay.
So
Well, that's
Much,
trial
much
and error.
faster.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
All
And
the
so-
cooling racks are all lined up with soap. That's great.
So that's what people saw when I posted on that Instagram. People saw that we had this soap sitting in our kitchen. And so there's other people, soap is a consumable.
Yep.
So there's other people seeing this and they're like, can we buy some? And at the time we had rental property too. So, and I was doing all the repairs on the rental property, and it consumed, between that and Matthews, that consumed every portion of my time. And so I didn't want another business. And so I said, well, you can't buy it, but I'll give some to you. So I started giving some away. And before we knew it, there was such a demand for it where we had to make a decision to either stop it because we were being harassed or make a business out of it. And we decided to make a business out of it. But before that, before we actually chose to make it a business, we had so much soap that we knew we had to get rid of it somehow, more than just selling one bar at a time. And so there was a missions fair or a missions fundraiser at our church. And we just said, we're going to take every bar of soap to that mission fundraiser. And we sold every bar of soap.
How many was that? Do you remember?
It was $800 worth.
Okay.
So it would have been 175 bars of soap.
All right.
So, and that was our first sale.
And we just donated all that money. And so there, not that you do things on purpose to get God's blessing or whatever, but we do feel like this business has been a blessing from God. And at the same time, our oldest son was wanting to homeschool, and I've always wanted to homeschool my kids. We have 2 boys. They're now 21 and almost 20. And the youngest one had no interest in homeschooling, but he wanted to homeschool. And I was just like, maybe this could just replace my income.
Sure.
I was subbing 3 days a week at that point.
Okay.
So we decided to go for it.
So that was kind of it was almost like a little bit of God saying, hey, you just sold out all the soap. You donated the money. Start your business. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. It's got to feel good, I would think. I mean, you're sitting there we don't know what we have here, and then all of a sudden it's all gone, and now let's start a business. So how has it been starting the business then? Was it, have you had a business before other than a rental property?
Just rental property.
Okay.
So not officially.
No.
I have a degree in business.
Okay.
So I have a background of how to run a business, but not necessarily as an owner.
Sure.
It was always as a manager. So we had to learn everything from the ground up. And of course, we didn't just hop right to where we're at now. We started really small, formed an LLC, got new bank accounts for the business, and slowly just started going to farmers markets and craft shows and all that kind of stuff that a normal small cosmetic company might do.
Sure.
So it started in our kitchen
All right.
and dining room. And like he said, all of our cooling racks, then we had to find something to put the soap on. So we bought these little racks then we had to get bigger racks. And we ended up having these 2 side-by-side racks that pretty much consumed one wall of our dining room, as well as boxes to ship things. We had to figure out how to ship. We had no idea how do you ship something. And so it was tricky having it in our kitchen because we also have 2 boys and they need to eat all the time.
Right.
And so it was we were competing for space, and also the demand kept growing. And so it was how do we keep making enough soap, have enough space for it, also do real life, we still had the rental properties.
We did.
And Aaron, we started talking about Matthews. A lot of what he does at Matthews is about efficiency and scaling production and things like that. And so that actually was a help for him to know how to do a lot of that stuff for our own business as the demand increased. And at the same time, just our customers didn't want just soap. They were like, if you can do this, can you also make this, 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 and this? And so they just kept asking for more products. And that's really where the other products that we carry came from, was customer demand. So the first thing I think was a lotion bar. And then they said, well, if you can make a lotion bar, can't you make a lip balm? Which Aaron was like, I will not contribute to the number of plastic tubes in the landfill. He's think about, and that's never a thought I ever had, was how many plastic tubes are in the landfill from lip balms. But if you think about it, it's probably a lot.
It's billions.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got search their car in their
Yeah, I know.
bedroom and everything. They probably got like 6 or 7 of them.
Oh yeah.
And then like 5 years from now, they'll have 6 or 7 too, but it won't be the same 6 or 7.
Yeah, because you go and buy them when you're going through Walmart or the store, and they're right there at the checkout
Yeah.
counter,
Right.
and you're like, oh, I think I need one right now.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
forget about all the other ones you got sitting around somewhere.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of our first, like, okay, if we're not going to have plastic, because it's easy to put a bar of soap, just put a paper label on it. So we had to figure out how are we going to do this without plastic, and it's not easy. It's so easy if you would just use plastic.
Sure.
So we ordered lots of different tube sizes. You have to push them up from the bottom so your finger doesn't fit in a lot of them. And then it's like, do people want one that's 3 times the normal size? Is that too big? But we ended up settling on one, and then all these other products that came after, we knew we had to stay true to that no plastic or minimal plastic rule that we made for ourselves.
Yeah, and a lot of times we see stuff we love, everyday products, home cleaning products, and we say, how can we do it without plastic, and how can we do it cleaner? Because since 1950, there's been about 100,000 chemicals that have been invented that don't exist in nature.
Whoa.
100,000.
I didn't realize that.
Now, let's say 90% of those are benign. There's still 10%, 10,000 chemicals that are not benign, that do influence our endocrine systems, and, they're disruptors, and, biology. They influence all that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So we want to make these products as clean as possible.
Gotcha. So is it or maybe I'm going to ask you a question here. How many ingredients go into a bar of soap or to a loaf of soap?
So you have your base oils, which
Okay.
are like coconut oil, olive oil, lard, which is an animal fat. And to go off on a tangent a little bit, so we were unsure about using animal fat in our soap, but people don't raise pigs for the fat. Fat is a byproduct
Sure.
that they need to use somehow. It's like using the whole buffalo.
Yep.
And so we were like, yeah, we should use animal fat in our soap because it does make excellent soap, and it's a lot like our skin fat. So it really conditions our skin well.
But you did make some soap with shea butter instead.
Yeah.
And we just don't think it's as good. It's just
As animal lard?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's tweaked our recipe a dozen times.
Okay.
And over the years to get to what we're at now, which we think is the best soap.
Yeah. So there's the fats, which are all those oils, and then there's lye. So lye is sodium hydroxide.
Okay.
If you think about the pH scale, and pH is about hydrogen ions and how they exchange with other substances. 7 is what our body loves. It's neutral. Sodium hydroxide is a 13 or a 14.
Okay.
It will eat almost anything, and especially oils. And so that's really what we're doing. We're causing a chemical reaction by creating an emulsion, which is mixing water, sodium hydroxide, and oils together.
Okay.
And it creates actually a new chemical, which is a salt called soap. That's all it is.
So soap is a salt.
Soap is a salt.
Okay. I did not know
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So then when you were cleaning with your body, does your body absorb the soaps like any soap that's out there? Does your body absorb it into its, not DNA, but into its skin? Like, does it stay in your body?
It does. It doesn't.
Doesn't, okay.
Really what it does is it's a surfactant,
Okay.
too. Surfactant attaches to oil and water molecules together and washes those away. So if you have oily skin and you use a surfactant on your skin, like soap, it will take that oil from your skin and wash it away.
Gotcha.
But soap can be stripping, too. You can remove too much oil, and then you feel really dry.
Yep.
But our soap contains glycerin, natural glycerin, which is it's a byproduct of the soap making process.
Sure.
And it's in our soap. And so the glycerin is a humectant, which adds moisture to your skin.
Okay.
So even though we're removing like all that oil, we're
Yep.
adding moisture at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay. How'd you learn all this? I mean, I'm just sitting here. This sounds like a chemistry lesson. How did you learn this?
I
mean, that book. It was just the book in the nightstand for 4 years.
Yeah, it wasn't in the book either, really.
No?
I will say this, is I And I'm not a chemist, so
Nope.
That's a disclaimer. I have a fascination with science,
Okay.
and I've had it since I was little. And while my brother and sister were getting toys and everything, I was asking for microscopes and telescopes and all this other stuff. It's just a fascination. I don't know where it came from, but that sort of led to all of this.
Gotcha.
And he was given a task at Matthews to set up some anodizing.
Okay.
Basically, like, here's your space, set up anodizing. And I was like, I would cry in the corner if someone told me I had to do that. And he had to figure it out. And that partly, he was like, if I can do anodizing, I can make soap, you know?
Sure.
So again, there's just a lot of blessing in the Matthews job. I feel like that has led to the confidence in a lot of the business changes and moving forward.
That's really cool. Now, I'm looking at your website, and obviously you said you got many different product lines. And what was the next one that started after soap? Because I'm looking, you got body, face, hair, cleaning, laundry, pets. That's a long list of things that have come since just 2018.
Yeah, our customers are demanding.
That's
but we
awesome
love
to
it.
have.
I
That's
know.
awesome to
We love
have,
that they
isn't it?
drive it. Yes. I think after the lip lotion, we call it lip lotion, lip balm. After that, I believe it was body oil because I was gifted some body oil at like a Christmas exchange, and the person felt really bad because they knew we had like a skincare business. And I was like, stop, like I don't have body oil. And I loved it, how it made my skin just feel really silky. And I'm like, we have to make this. Like, this is amazing. And so instead of lotions, which are made with water and some oils and some preservatives, which we didn't want to do. We were like, let's do oils and body butters because it's just oils mixed together. And then we added some, really nice essential oils to give it a nice scent. And so I think that was next was oils and butters, which also you learn a lot about shipping glass containers with oil. And then after that, I think, was it liquid soap maybe?
Probably laundry.
So laundry detergent was not meant to be a
Check this
product.
out.
So Aaron has a lot of checks and balances when he's making soap. So like he said before, he made like a 10-bar loaf of soap, and he eventually moved up to like making 6 loaves of 23 bars. And now he makes at a time 20 of those loaves. But at the time, he still does. He has checks and balances, right? Like I mix this much lye and I use this much in each recipe. And if there's any lye left over, or if I don't have enough lye, I know if I mess something up along the way. So one soap making session, he's like ready to move on to the next part, and the lye is gone, but he still has all these oils left. So he knew he put too much lye into the previous soaps, and you can't sell that because it could potentially like be hard on people's skin if there's extra lye. So he's like, we can't sell these soaps. We can't use them. He's like, but you know what they'd be really good for is for laundry detergent. And I don't know, have you ever made laundry detergent?
No, I've never made any of this stuff we're talking about.
Well,
so.
a lot of people, like when our kids were little, they were like 8 and 10, we made laundry detergent just for fun, so we bought all the ingredients. But it's just salt, washing soda, baking soda, our soap, and then a scent if we, choose to add that. So grinding up a lot of soap is not easy. So we had to figure that out. So we ground it up. We mixed up a few, batches of laundry detergent, and people loved it. And then they wanted us to keep doing it. So then we had to figure out how are we going to have laundry detergent for the demands, which is still tricky because it demands a lot of space because we have to buy in such quantity that we're buying pallets of these ingredients.
Oh, sure.
And we operate out of a small section of it'd be awesome to operate out of this space, but we operate out of a small space attached to our garage, and then another little part of another garage that we built. So Aaron's very creative with space management, but
Yeah. And it's really about efficiency and using your space to the maximum extent. Because if you add a building, you're adding overhead, which is going to increase the cost of your product.
Yep.
We don't really want to do that. And also another building somewhere else is just kind of a headache because then you got to travel to go do something. Whereas if it's right near us or like outside, we can just walk out there and do it.
Yep.
So with laundry, I had to buy a ribbon blender. So a ribbon blender is it's a vat with sort of an auger inside.
Okay.
And so we dump all of our product into that soap, sodium bicarbonate, sodium carbonate, and sodium
Salt.
chloride. And that mixes to laundry detergent. Well, to do that, I had to spend $5,000 on the ribbon blender.
Sure.
And then, all this equipment that we have for weighing and measuring and mixing, you have to invest in your business. And if you're not willing to invest, you can't go to the next step. So as we've scaled along the way, we've spent money to do that.
So you learned kind of how to use your space good because of what you had to do at Matthews then?
Right.
That's a good idea. So is the laundry detergent, is it liquid or is it a powder?
It's a powder.
It's a powder. Okay.
Yep.
So where do you put in your, so all I know is liquid. That's
Yeah.
all I know. So when you open up to put in your laundry detergent, is it like where you put like the other side of it, I think?
We just say to put it right on, sprinkle it right
just
into
put
the
it right in.
drum.
Oh.
Yeah, just put it right in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes that different then from everything else that's on the shelf then? Is your clothes softer or smell better or?
So most laundry detergents that are sitting on the shelves in big box stores have, if you walk past that aisle, you smell it, right?
Yep.
And that is because those fragrances have something called phthalates in them, and it extends the life of the fragrance, so it lingers. And that's what a lot of people do like about, right? Like when you wash with laundry detergent, it's like the smell that you get, but those act like hormones to your body. And so they kind of act like estrogen to the body. And so it's like a hormone disruptor. They kind of look the same to the body as hormones. And so most people who are in the clean mindset want to avoid phthalates. So all of our fragrances, if we do use a fragrance or we use a lot of essential oils, don't contain phthalates. So that's why a lot of people choose our laundry detergent, as they don't get those hormone disrupting products. Plus, it's not just about what you're personally using in your own family. It's also going into the water system as we wash it, down the drain.
Sure.
And so it's just, if we could get away from phthalates altogether, everybody would be a lot healthier. I forgot what I was going to say.
That's okay.
This is my 45-year-old brain, let me just say.
Phthalates. So the stuff that we use at the store when it connects to your skin, it acts like estrogen, possibly?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause I don't want that.
No, you
As a
don't
man.
want that. No. And I keep thinking of something, and then it just keeps going away.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. And when you breathe in phthalates, the blood-brain barrier or the blood-lung barrier is really thin. And so
Okay.
you absorb stuff through your lungs that enters your blood really easily.
Sure.
Smoking, nicotine, smoking. That's not, you don't drop that into your blood. It's inhaled and then it just crosses that barrier to the blood.
Sure.
Oh, and it can aggravate things like eczema. That's what I was going to say.
Gotcha.
So people just can be sensitive to those fragrances too.
Yeah.
So question then for you, because as you're talking about all of these things, are you health conscious people then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's just kind of the idea I was getting when you're talking about, you kind of know everything that's going into the products, why they're good for your body. So I was just wondering, are you like gym rats or just health conscious people in general?
We haven't been in a gym for 20 years probably.
Yeah.
So we just work out at home.
Okay.
I do a lot of cycling, or I did a lot of cycling. Missy has a really strong routine that she does every day for 3 hours. So she works out way more than I do.
Sure.
But we've always been active, and we've always wanted to demonstrate that for our kids, and our kids are active. And
We
our
hike
kids
on vacation.
Our kids are so disciplined about working out.
And food.
They go to the gym every single day.
All right.
And they're in great shape. And, I actually admire their discipline there, because either I don't make time for it or I don't have time for it. I just don't do it.
Sure.
You do. You just don't do it as much.
Not as much, yeah.
So you talk about, you got 2 boys, right?
Yes.
Are they part of the business?
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Okay. How
Full-time
big of
employees?
What's that?
Full-time employees.
Full-time employees.
Well,
That's awesome.
So they both worked for McDonald's when they were teenagers.
Okay.
Kind of as the business was starting to grow in 2020-ish.
Yeah, they were both 14 when they started at McDonald's.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I had kids that were eighth graders I was teaching, and they had jobs at McDonald's. At one point, I had 3 kids there. I'm like, I have to teach them about taxes a little bit in math. I go, these guys understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The rest of you probably don't get what I'm talking about because they saw their paychecks. But
yeah. So we would take them to work, and then we'd be like hustling all day on Saturday, like trying to get everything done, and just thinking like, I wish we had more help. And then they'd come home, and I didn't want to like say, now that you're done working there, you need to help us. But we offered them the job instead of working at McDonald's if they would work for us. And we made a mistake at first. We just kind of paid them like a lump sum instead of like hourly, and we realized we weren't getting very much out of them.
yeah, sure.
And I'm the big softie. I was like, well, I don't want to like take that away from them. And he's like, they need to understand like they're hourly, you know. So we had to say to them, if you want to keep getting that much money, this is how many hours you have to work. Sure. And then it became like very competitive for them with each other and themselves. Like, oh, I'm going to get to that many hours plus more because then I can get more money. Yeah. And so, yeah, it really, if any parents are listening, make your kids work hourly.
Don't pay them up front.
Yeah, don't just pay them up front. So that was a big, we learned a lot there. But
yeah. And when we started paying them hourly, we also said, and they were like 15 and 16 at the time, you are responsible for all of your clothing. And if you want to go out to eat somewhere, you're responsible for that. And you're responsible for paying for your gas. Mm-hmm. Sure. We paid them a good wage, especially for that age. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to instill in them the value of money.
Sure.
And so they still wear socks that have holes in them, and they will not spend money on themselves.
We're not into that, by the way. No. But there are some shorts that are still from middle school, which is weird because like Emmett was like kind of chubby, and now he's like just strong. And so I think that's why they still fit him. We're like, come on, it's time to let those shorts go. But they're also super like they care about the business. So when we were like labeling soap one holiday season, I think Emmett was maybe 16, and he was always in sports too. So it was hard to have a job when you're in sports, It
is.
And he could just kind of work flexible hours whenever. So we're all labeling out there, and he's like, random quality check, and he grabs a bar and he's like, Mom, this is not straight. He's like, people are paying $7 for this soap. He's like, you need to do better. And I'm like, okay. And I love that they truly care so much. Yeah. About the quality, about the way that our brand is represented. And yeah, I love that they care so much.
Yeah. And we also have other employees, part-time employees.
Oh, so you have more employees now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a mother and a daughter who work for us, Deb and Matea. And then Zandria, Emmett's girlfriend, works for us.
Okay.
Fiance. She'll be mad when she hears that you said girlfriend.
So we have help there too.
Sure. Well, I assume your boys probably say, hey, this is, obviously it's our family. So if we're going to put it into stores, we don't want to have, quality check. We want to make sure that's taken care of. And it's just as much maybe as their baby as it is yours. Mm-hmm. And being that you guys all started up kind of together, It sounds like. So back, when did they started doing that in like 2020?
Yes.
And are they're still working for you then?
Yes. They also have their own business too.
Oh, so,
they do? Yeah,
okay.
they do epoxy flooring. It just kind of slows down this time of year in Wisconsin.
Sure.
A lot of people do it in their garages. So we get really busy in this time of year with the holiday season. So it was kind of a good bridge for them to just help us out.
Yeah, we had an event that threw a wrench into everything. And that was our child getting cancer when he was 17.
Okay.
Our youngest, Emmett, he was wrestling, and then he had a mat burn in wrestling that never got better. And less than a month later, we found out he had cancer. So a few things transpired from that. Number one, we realized we needed more help in the soap business to keep it going and to keep it growing. Number two is he was really uncertain about his future. Like, not only am I going to make it through this cancer, but what do I do for college? I'm going to miss some schooling because of cancer. Like, what do I do? He was really in turmoil, but he knew he had to move on from high school, because you're not going to do sports anymore.
Sure.
Like, when you have leukemia, you can't play sports. So his senior year was done. So he was just certain that he wanted to start his own business and not go to college. So as soon as he turned 18, he started Fusion Floors with his brother.
Okay.
Which is epoxy flooring. And they work really well together. Of course, they're best friends and worst enemies, depending on the hour.
Well, they can hold each other accountable, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's been really great. So we have actually 2 businesses operating out of our house.
That's really unique and cool all at the same time. And it's great that they're brothers that care as much, because if they care as much about your business that you guys started up, they're going to care just as much about that one as well.
Oh,
so that's
absolutely.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
They're meticulous. Like
Yeah.
our garage was the first garage they did, and it was trial and error, and they made some mistakes. But when I look at the garages that they do, they're so meticulous. Yeah. And they treat it like their own. So I'm really proud of that.
That's really good. So when they were first starting, did they have a certain job they had to do? I don't know what all the jobs are that entail with this. Did they have like a specific, this is what you got to learn to do first and then keep growing?
We really needed help labeling soap. I just got to a point where I used to label it all and I just couldn't keep up on it. So that was probably the first thing that they really did. And then it's more recently, especially with the boys now having some downtime, Aaron has always formulated the recipes first. He's the formulator. So when we started making shampoo bars, he was the only one making them. And I would say, you have to let someone else do this because you don't have time and you can't keep like burning yourself out like this. And so that's a really big one that more recently he taught Emmett how to make the shampoo bars. And so Emmett does that. Ethan does like all of the laundry for the most part, mixes it, it takes a lot of time. And then they just kind of do everything else together. I think they probably started making body oils too. That was one of the earlier jobs. But more recently they've started to take on body butters, magnesium butters. Yeah,
we have a lot of products. And so they have to wear many hats. They have to know how to do a lot of stuff. It's hard for me sometimes to hand stuff off, but I realize I have to if we want to keep on moving forward. And I'm better off spending my time formulating and making stuff more efficient. Because that's what I'm good at.
Yep.
And purchasing, I'm pretty good at that. And accounting. Missy's really great at social media.
I do the social media.
Really
I noticed that on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where I see a lot of your stuff is coming on Instagram.
Yes.
So I noticed it's mainly you from what I see on there.
It is mainly me. I try to get more people on there and they just don't want to. I'll take a video and they're like, delete that, or you're not posting that. And so then we go to like these pop-ups and people will walk up and they'll say, Missy, I love this like hair detangler. And they'll give me all the credit. And then they're always like, you get all the credit. There's this good like back and forth, but I'm like, I try to give you guys the credit. You just don't let me. So
well, there's got to be a spokesperson for it.
Exactly.
Someone has to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not always one person that wants to do that, because not everyone wants to be in front of it doing all that. And because sometimes you're going to go on social media and you're going to do a silly video, and not everyone wants that criticism either, do they?
That's true.
So I'm looking at you got lots of stuff. You have like 2 pages worth, and you talked about the labeling portion. What takes so long about the labeling portion that your kids were doing? Is it like you gotta like, I don't know what entails with it, because I'm looking, it looks like about half is like a label that goes around about half the bar of the soap.
Yeah, like a cigar wrapper. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I'd call it that.
Yeah.
So it's and there's opportunity there to maybe we have a little bit more automation in labeling in the future, but right now we do everything by hand.
Okay.
It's a lot of eyeing it up, which is not always good, because we just discovered, probably within the last 6 months, somebody had been labeling stuff really, really poorly. One of our employees.
Sure.
And we never like to dwell on like who it is, but we just want to say, how do we fix that in the future?
Yep.
How do we move forward? And so, maybe there's more automation in that in the future.
Yeah.
And then sourcing the labels too, like that's been a big issue, because we don't use plastic.
Right. It looks like it's paper from what I
Yes.
see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use paper for the most part.
Right.
And we did use some metallicized paper at some point.
Oh yeah. So like the bars of soap, we just use glue dots and the labels, and so it's just a matter of I mean, now, we said, he used to make 10 bars of soap at a time, and then it turned into whatever 23 times 20 is. How many bars of soap is that?
460.
So, then every time he's making soap, it's 460 bars.
Sure.
And you're also trying to pack bins and fill orders for markets and, it's just, and make food for everybody. It just got to be.
So I'm looking at this and they're square soaps, right? Okay. And so do you have something that cuts them all to the exact size?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was what I was wondering. I'm like, how are they doing this? Because obviously the label has to fit around each one of them almost
Yes.
perfectly.
Exactly.
So there's a cutter that you cut it with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just has 12 guitar strings on it.
Oh,
And a guitar string cuts it.
okay.
So that's
do you have to heat it up then? I assume?
Nope.
No, it just cuts right through.
Yep, it's pretty standard for the industry in soap making, like we make it. People will have a cutter like that.
Sure.
So when you make soap, it starts out very liquidy, and then over about 18 to 24 hours, it firms up, but it's still very soft. If you squeezed it really hard, you could make a dent in it. And so it cuts pretty easily right away. And then
Gotcha.
over the course, they have to cure on the rack for 3 to 4 weeks. And then they get really hard. So if you let them sit even longer than that, they'll be harder. And then if you use them right away, they'll melt away really quickly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm looking. You have pet stuff too, and I'm a pet lover, dog specifically. What kind of pet products do you have then?
So we have a dog shampoo and a paw balm, and then we have a dog bug spray. I guess it is a dog bug spray because cats are different for the essential oils that you can and can't use.
Oh, okay.
So I think the paw balm happened first, but basically we have a naked lotion stick for humans. It's just like beeswax, shea butter, coconut oil, and you can just kind of rub it on your hands, and it's in cardboard.
Sure.
And someone had reached out and she was like, do you have anything like that for dogs? And I'm like, if we were going to make it, it would just be a naked lotion stick with a different label. She goes, but I like paw prints on my labels. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you do have it on
So
there.
we did. So it's the same product that we use on humans. If your dog has the opportunity, it will eat that because it thinks it's a treat.
Oh,
because
really?
it's just so natural.
Sure.
They really like it. We have lotion bars that are similar. They just don't have wrapping on them, and dogs have eaten those as well. So, and lip lotions, they like our lip lotions. So you got to keep it away from the dog a little bit. I mean, just because they'll eat it. So yeah, that's really great. The paw balm for in the winter to keep their paws soft and to be a protective barrier. And in the summer if the concrete is hot. And then we have the shampoo bar for dogs. Actually came from a lady who does pop-up markets with us. She had messaged me and she was like, my vet said we need an unscented oatmeal soap for my dog. And she's like, can you make that? And we just didn't do it. And anytime I'd put a story on Instagram that was like, guess what we're making? She'd always be like, dog shampoo. Just kept after us. So he's like, I can do that. That's not hard. So people really like it because a liquid soap, if your dog's squirming around, you might squirt some and it just runs off of them.
Yeah,
and
right.
this, you can just kind of get it wet and kind of lather it on their bodies and it just lathers really quickly. So
So what I gather is you started with soap, but every other product came from someone that's just kind of requesting it, it sounds like. So I see you got hair stuff. Who requested that?
I don't know if I remember, but the shampoo bar situation. So some people make shampoo bars just like soap, but the problem is, and we did that at first, the pH of that is around a 9.
9.5.
And your hair wants to be more at a 5.5.
Okay.
And so the whole shampoo bar thing was a huge learning curve because it's a totally different process. So Aaron had to buy completely different ingredients than we currently had and figure out how to, and that's been also tweaked multiple times.
Yep.
But it is amazing, the shampoo bar. And I was super afraid to use it personally. I was like, I don't want to have a bad hair day, but I have to try it. And it is so good. It's so soft, lightweight. My hair just feels so nice. And that's what all of our customers say. They just love it so much. But then they wanted conditioner, he had to figure that out too.
Well, I see it says 3-in-1. Is that?
That is for men. That one's more the higher pH one.
Okay.
So yeah.
But it
Shampoo
is
washers.
amazing.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So with the shampoo bar, I guess I've never seen a shampoo bar. So you just rub it on your hands like that or do you take the whole bar?
I just kind of rub it around on my head in a few spots.
Okay.
Set it down. It lathers crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so again, you're not throwing away plastic waste. Again, there's no phthalates. A lot of shampoos that are in bottles have sodium lauryl sulfate, which is really stripping to people's scalp. So that can often lead to dandruff or an itchy scalp, just scalp issues. And so a lot of people have found just switching to our shampoo bar, a lot of that stuff just goes away.
Gotcha. Wow, that is so. I've never heard of that, but that's really cool. So then you had to make conditioner too.
Yeah. So what really appeals to me is that a shampoo bar will replace 2 bottles of shampoo.
Okay.
So you're not throwing away 2 bottles of plastic.
So you're getting quite a bit then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And the shampoo bar is only
I'm seeing. It looks like it's maybe about that round.
It's small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And a conditioner bar will replace about 3 bottles of conditioner.
Wow.
Yeah, it lasts probably more. I think mine is like 6 months old. And Ethan, our oldest, makes all the conditioner bars. Well, and Matea helps too.
And if you buy shampoo, the main ingredient is water.
I know. I see that on the back. I remember back in the day, you would read the labels while you're sitting in the shower.
Yep.
And I always had water, and it was like sodium sulfate. I think it was the second one.
Yeah. And think about how much it costs to transport that water. You know, not only contain it in a plastic bottle, but then transport it weight-wise across states. It ends up being very expensive.
Never thought about that.
And
So-
if there's water in it, it has to have a preservative. So
Okay.
there are some natural preservatives, but that's not what's in most shampoos.
Gotcha.
So then again, you're just adding to your toxic load.
Yeah. So prior to this, Missy was buying like a really high-end brand of shampoo.
All right.
And I didn't like it because it was expensive. And she would spend hundreds of dollars on the shampoo and conditioner. And I'm like, why are you using that? And she's like, well, it's the best stuff. And I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so now she just uses shampoo and conditioner from us.
And my mom, too, had the same story for my mom. My dad's very thankful.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, just walk outside, go get some from your shed or your garage, or wherever
Yeah.
you're making it, and go back inside the house. You don't have to even leave the house. So I want to go over to the business aspect side of things now. You have many products, but how are you marketing, or what was your first marketing? Was it social media, or was it something else, or was it just strictly word of mouth at first?
I think it was social media.
It was probably mostly word of mouth because friends knew that we were doing something.
Okay.
And it was a little bit of social media. Now, I would say social media, if people aren't using social media today, they're doing the wrong thing.
Sure.
Because it's free. Like
Yep.
it doesn't take much to create a reel, and it doesn't take much to create a post. People are just so hesitant to put themselves out there. And that's one thing that Missy does really well. She puts herself out there. She tries new things with reels, and it's not always a hit.
No, I know how that goes.
But you have to post and post and post to gain traction, to find out what really does work. And you have to understand your demographic. Like when I first started making soap, I wanted to make leather and tobacco and burlap and pipe tobacco and, like all those
All the
guys.
guys. Yep.
scents. And my mom came over to make soap one time, and she's like, you should really make some women's scents. And Missy was saying the same thing. And I'm like, what's a woman's scent? And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Well, 90% of our customers are women.
Okay.
So why wouldn't I?
Yeah. And we still have, I brought you some man soaps today. But and women are always trying to convert their husbands over, and they're like, just do it and you'll feel so much better. Your skin won't be so itchy and tight and whatnot. But social media, I'm trying to learn TikTok.
Okay.
Which I'm clueless about. My website guy was trying to tell me how to do that. I'm like, I'm really comfortable on Instagram
Sure.
and Facebook. And I think we've paid for a few ads. There is so much word of mouth, though. So people will buy our product as gifts and give it to people, and then they just become customers because they love it so much. So we're like so thankful for everybody who ever gifts our product, because it really does create a new customer for us.
Yeah. So what's considered a woman's scent then? Because I only know like the tobacco and the bourbon or whatever they have.
Yeah, what's funny is that the first soap I ever made was called Tobacco Bay Leaf. And it was a scent that I really loved. I thought it was a man scent. Women mostly buy it now.
Really?
And so there's this huge crossover that happens. We have a soap. Did you give them a nature walk?
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring it. Yeah, well, you know what? I'll just bring it out now. You guys brought me some soaps, and I want to bring these out because...
I don't even remember what I grabbed.
Let's see. Well, it smells good. The bag already smells fantastic coming out of it. And let's see what we got here. This one,
Oh, I brought that one because it's cool. Aaron,
Midwinter Blues.
if you take the label off, this is just like a good demonstration of Aaron's
I'm just going to put these up for people to see 'em.
his
Yeah, if you
his
just slide
art.
that label off of that one, it's a pretty cool bar.
So that one takes a lot of time. He has to do a lot of math for that one. But there's like 5 or 6 different layers of blue there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Looks
So
like a picture.
yeah, that one is just like, it's not easy to pour the lines straight and all of the things that he has to do there. So that's kind of why I brought you that one, was
Yeah.
to showcase his artwork.
And there's a certain level of creativity in all of these.
Sure.
I feel like if people are paying $7 for a bar of soap, they should be getting a piece of artwork too.
Sure, yeah.
And it was always important to me, buying it as early as 14 years old. Like, I wanted to hold the bar in my hand and appreciate it, not just use it. Because utilitarian is always great, but art is always great too.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make
Shaving a haircut.
Yes.
That's a good
want to make the soaps beautiful.
Well, this one it's sparkling on top and everything, and these ones look like looks like waves. It's like this one looks like a mountain. This one's pretty cool, Riptide.
Yeah.
But okay, so it looks like a Riptide.
Yeah. And that one I think can go, it's kind of gender neutral. I think women like it and men like it.
I gotta
A
take
lot
that
of
out.
women like the man scents. But so like a woman scent would be like Floral Muse.
Rose gold.
Rose Gold. Okay.
That's a good one.
Rose Gold, we have a cult-like following. So there's a
Okay.
store in La Crescent, Johnson Livings. She carries all of our products, and we started out with Rose Gold soap. That's all we had was the Rose Gold soap. And she was like, "You need to make Rose Gold." What does she want first?
Body oil.
She's been begging for body oil forever, and we were just kind of holding out on that. But yeah, now we have Rose Gold laundry detergent because of her Rose Gold shampoo, Rose Gold conditioner, Rose Gold body oil, Rose Gold body butter, and she made stickers that said like Rose Gold cult member. So
Yeah,
so
that's
what does it smell like? Sorry, what does it smell like?
rose gold.
well, it says like
It's floral and fruity.
Okay, floral and fruity.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Okay.
Yeah. And, shout out to our retailers too, because we do wholesale.
Yep.
And so we have retailers all over the region.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, for those who are listening, obviously the podcast is based out of Winona. And it looks like you can get it at Lofton 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I see on your website, but you're all over the place. I mean, Holman, Chippewa Falls. I saw one in Florida. Bonita
Florida.
Springs, Florida.
Yes.
Yep.
How did that come about?
Matthews, actually.
Really?
Yep. I work with a guy in guitars
Yep.
whose sister is part owner of a coffee shop down there.
Okay.
So that's the coffee shop that carries the soap.
And she must have gotten some from him, I think.
Yeah.
And liked it
Yep.
and was like, we need this in our coffee shop.
That's so.
We have somebody in New Hampshire.
Yep, I saw that one on the bottom there,
North
right next
Dakota.
to
2 in North Dakota.
Yep.
it. Yep.
Iowa.
Dickinson. Yep. So how did you then, going back to the marketing, how did you get into these places? Was it word of mouth, or did you just call them up cold call and say, hey,
They asked us.
all
Yeah.
these people asked you? That's okay. So that's really good word of mouth, and that means you have a good reputation too.
Yeah. So, which is nice because we don't have to do that part of it to
Right.
try to figure out where we want to be.
So do they buy it from you and then you send it to them at a wholesale price and they just put it on the shelves, or do you have to
Yep.
deliver these things hand?
sometimes we deliver, sometimes they come pick it up from us.
Okay.
Sometimes we ship it. It just depends. A lot of these people, like the Winona people, they'll just meet us halfway, like in Alaska, if we're running an errand and they need to run one too. Or
Sure.
yeah.
Do you see more purchases online or through the stores?
About 60% of our business is done online.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking it was actually going to be more just because everyone shops online these days.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you said the shipping part is something you had to learn too.
Yes.
What is it like? Like, how do you ship this? I mean, it's literally exposed soap.
Yeah.
How does it not melt or whatever it might do in a box?
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. Does it melt?
It doesn't really melt. It undergoes other changes,
Okay.
like at temperature, but it's got to be pretty high in temperature.
Yeah.
We're
Gotcha.
talking like 180 degrees.
Okay, I don't think we
for
get that
it to do
high.
anything.
But we wrap it pretty good in paper. We don't want it to get, banged up too bad. It's still going to work the same, but we do try to keep it looking nice. The trickiest part is shipping our glass things, our body oils. Liquid soap, we just ship in a mason jar. And so we've had a number of broken packages. Actually, funny story. Somebody was buying liquid soap in Lewiston, and the mail carrier was bringing it to them, and it had broken. And the mail carrier ended up placing an order because it smelled so good, even though the whole box was a complete mess. So yeah, we've just learned a lot over the years about using lots of paper to pack it. And that's another thing. We don't use bubble wrap unless we have some that came from a shipment.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're just using paper because, again, we're trying to have a low impact on the environment.
Sure. So how's it been working as a family? Has it been, did it build you guys stronger, or has there been times you've just been wanting to be at each other's throats? Because I know how that can be when you're with people that you're comfortable with. You can just kind of fly off the handle. You don't really have to worry about maybe repercussions, getting mad at your kids, or vice versa, or mad at each other.
Yeah. So I'm probably the most emotional. So I may be the biggest culprit of that. Aaron is very quiet and just withdrawals when he's frustrated. So we balance each other out that way, where I'm more like verbal about it. We have moments like the holiday season is hard, and we can get a little grumbly and stuff. Like I actually was saying, I wanted to like refocus at the beginning of the year about like displaying more of the fruits of the spirit, and like maybe having that up in the shop, just a reminder for us to be, more full of gratitude than like grumbling when we're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. But for the most part, I think that we work really well together. We spend all of our time together. Like we are a very close family. Our son is actually getting married, and it's like super hard for me because we spend so much time together. It's just going to be.
Yeah, we have never gone on a vacation without our kids.
Okay.
And we do everything together as a family.
Sure.
I've always wanted to build resilient kids, who are able to handle stress well, because stress will be thrown at them one way or another. And it's been really rewarding for me to see them handle stressful situations in the soap shop, and they handle it well. That's a sign that you've built a resilient individual.
Right.
And I think whenever any of us have like a negative kind of day, like we come back together and it's fine. And we all see like all the things, like if they're, we're busy working in the soap shop and the laundry hasn't gotten folded yet, like everyone jumps in and helps. And there's just this like very fluid, it's like you start a load of laundry, you go out to the soap shop to fill orders, you walk back through, transfer the laundry. Like we're always doing all the things. And I think everyone just kind of sees everything that needs to get done, and we just kind of work together on it.
Well, if you have an efficient business going, I'm sure you can make efficiency within the house all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's part of that is, there's downsides to it too, because the boundaries are blurry, like between personal lives and professional lives. Mm-hmm. So the kids work for us. Well, they work right on the other side of the wall sometimes. So if they're in watching TV and you need something for the soap business, you might ask them to stop what they're doing and go work.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
A normal employer wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call you in your home while you're watching TV and be like, hey, can you just do this thing for 5 minutes and then go back to watching TV?
Yeah.
So, our kids have had to adapt to that. And, we try to keep boundaries, but it's hard sometimes when you're a family operating a business.
Yeah.
Kind of never off the clock.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing.
On the drive here, actually, there was a lady who was supposed to come shop tomorrow morning, and she's coming back this way because of weather tonight. And so she's like, I'll just order online. And I said, well, I can just see if one of the kids can connect with you. And she's not going to be able to get to the house till like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So they've already put in their time for the day, but I just sent out a text and they're like, of course, like we'll help her,
Sure.
But again, it's like they will clock out, they'll clock back in, they might be eating supper, go back out. So yeah, but they're.
Well, as we're starting to wind down here, I got a couple of questions for you then. When you look back on the last 7-ish years, what has been a pro and a con that you've seen, and maybe individually or maybe together you can answer this, but has there been some cons that have maybe were difficult times or something like that? And then what are some pros that you've had? I mean, we just talked about kind of having resilient kids and a lot of helpfulness is probably your pro, but I was wondering if there's any cons within this or tough times.
Yeah, I would say, we've been really blessed by our business, and it has allowed us to do amazing things in the community. Like we one of our goals is to donate a lot of money. Okay. So we donate a lot of money to community nonprofits, and we have never turned down a fundraiser request.
Like a donation.
Yep. We've never turned one down, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds throughout the years.
Sure.
We love doing that stuff because it funnels money to people that need it.
Yeah.
So I would say that's one of the greatest things that has come out of our business. One of the downsides is we work a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're going to own your own business, you're going to work a lot.
Yeah.
Like you just are. Like, and it's yours though. You own it, but it's also going to control your life sometimes, and you have to be okay with that, and you have to know how to handle that stress. So sometimes it boils to the surface, and we have to navigate that.
Sure.
And it's not always easy.
Yeah, I can see how that would be.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I mean, and it's tricky because we do spend all of our time together. So if we want to take a trip, it's all of us, and then who's going to run the business? Which is why it's great we have this mother-daughter, and actually her son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her son also works for us a little
so
bit.
they help out in the times when you're gone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And she would not want me to talk about her, but I'm going to. So the owner of Culver's in Sparta,
Okay.
her name is Cheyenne. Her and her husband own Culver's, but their child also had cancer. And so when Emmett got cancer, she said, like, I always thought it'd be fun to help you guys. And so she's like, can I just come help? And it was so amazing to have another business owner with a business mindset, like helping in the business. Like she thought of things that we didn't think of. And that's why it's great to have other people kind of outside of your own family, just like with different mindset and stuff. And she knew what I needed, like as the emotional mother, and she knew what the business actually needed, to keep running. And yeah, that has been a huge blessing. And I think a lot of times this is maybe going off on a tangent, but when you go through those hard things yourself, then you know what other people, when they're going through that stuff, need. And so it's a blessing for her to be able to help us because it's like therapeutic, right? And likewise, then we know there's a lot of cancer things that we give to because we know what it's like.
Sure.
So,
It hits home.
yeah.
Have you ever have you criticized each other on anything? 'Cause how does constructive criticism, how does that go?
It does not go well.
I don't like it when you criticize my post, like any post that I make. Like I get very offended because I feel like I should hear more about how he likes all the other ones then.
Yeah, and that's all that is true. Like sometimes I'm so busy because I have a full-time job and I have to work the soap business and do all the things that I lose sight of admiring something great that she's done.
It's fine, actually.
So she might have a really great post, and because I see it every day and I just expect it to be done, I just kind of like gloss over it. And, I lose sight of that. So.
We had early on, we had this whole he wanted everything very polished on social media, and I wanted more like real life relatable, because that's what I like is like the people who are just like, this is real life. And so we had to like figure that out. And actually there was a guy working in social media at the guitar business, and I was like, well, I'm going to ask him, and he's like, yeah, your stories are more relatable and like your posts are more polished or whatever. And I was like, see, but that one, I mean, I would say that's a little bit, do I criticize you?
I'm not sure. I think
it's okay.
I probably take it differently than you do.
Yeah.
I probably don't internalize it too much.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good that there's not much animosity of any sort, any which way.
That's good. It's just one-sided.
Well, is there anything that we haven't covered that you wanted to make sure that we covered before we start wrapping this up? Did I skip over anything?
I mean, there's a lot that goes into the family business. And what people see on the outside. And I say this about Matthews Archery, which is a many millions of dollar business. When you see how the sausage is made, it's less appealing. However, sometimes when you see how it's made, you really admire the process of it. And I would say that about Matthews too. Like, there's a lot of great stuff happening in that company. And there's a lot of great stuff day to day that happens in our company. And it can get crazy, and it can not be pretty sometimes.
Sure.
But you're working towards a common goal. And so that's what I really love about it all. You're all working for that goal.
Yep.
Whether I'm working at Matthews or working in the soap business.
And I didn't realize how much went into making soap, honestly. You see it on the store, you don't really think twice about it, and you're sitting here telling me, literally giving me like a science lesson here about how this is all done, and then obviously the business portion of it and how you've expanded and grown too. So yeah, I mean, I want to thank you guys for coming on in. This has been really fun, really interesting. Thank you for the soap. It smells fantastic. And for everyone else, I want you to plug where they can find you, websites, social media, all that kind of stuff. And then I'll plug it into the show notes as well. So if you just want to mention those.
So on Instagram and Facebook, we are 1924 Custom Soapery. And then on our website is Shop 1924. We thought we'd make that a little bit easier for you guys. And we are on TikTok, but go easy on me because I don't know what I'm doing on there.
She's working on it. You're working
I'm trying.
on it. Yep. Well, that's awesome. Thank you one more time. You guys traveled all the way from Sparta. It's been really great to get to know you as well because this is the first time we had ever met.
Yes.
Someone, I think, tagged you into one of my posts and said you'd be fantastic on this. And we just got together and you said, after the holiday season, we're in because it's really busy. And now you explain, obviously, how it can get really busy during this time of the year because this is a gift that a lot of people would give is a soap type product. Candles are another one. You guys have candles yet?
We don't.
No, okay.
There's a lot of great candle makers in the area. We're gonna let them just do that.
All right, let them take that. That's awesome. Well, thank you one more time. And I want to cheers you guys in our kombuchas.
Thanks, yeah.
And thank you for coming on in. And for those who are listening, please like, share, subscribe, and 5-star this. Go check out their products. It's plugged in the show notes below. And we will see you next week for another episode of Brews and Cruise. Cheers.